Hello, Boston Baltic Film Festival. Thank you for recognizing our movie Bog, and thank you for being interested in it.
Hi, Boston. It's nice that you have us, and I'm really, really, really sorry that we can't be there. Oh, so sad. You had questions, and I have maybe answers. I think the greatest challenge was all the stunts that I had to make because I didn't want to have a stuntman. I did everything myself. There wasn't like specifically really hard stunts, but still, these will need a stuntman, like underwater scenes, fighting scenes, and rain and so on. And I think these were the most hard ones because we were shooting in the spring and the weather was around 6 Celsius. I don't know how much is in Fahrenheit, and the water was around 4, so near freezing temperatures. And we were shooting this fight scene for over, I don't know, for 10 hours maybe in the outside and the sauna where we got our warmth was 300 meters away, and we had to run like there was like a small wooden road to the sauna and small wooden road back because the swamp is, it sucks you in if you go past the past the wood street.
There's an author called Oscar Lutz, who's the author of The Bog. Mm, we made a movie called Winter, like 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and he was a comedic writer, and his pieces were really popular, like when my parents grew up. So we kind of found out that the bug was not so comedic, but a serious story, and we wanted to um, get it on the screen, and that's what happened.
I have read the book. I think what hooked me was the character, the Thomas Hava, who had like many sides of him. He was a playboy in some kind, in post-World War playboy, and but he was also a really kind person. So there was like a I really loved the mixture of both and how to combine these two and how to find the best solutions.
Well, yes, of course, I read the book. The story is really interesting to me, and I'm amazed that the story has almost everything in it. It has pieces of action, comedy, romance, and even a thriller. And getting that role was a total jackpot to me, to be in a movie and to play such a wild, mystical character. It's a beautiful dream that came true.
Yes, I have read the book, but I only read it after I had accepted the role and after the shooting was finished, actually. But I did read the script, and I would honestly say that after reading the book, the script is, in a way, even better than the book, which is really rare, a miracle actually, because most stories that we as a humanity tell each other, most basically all movies, all books, even actually all stories fall into a few, two, three basic categories. So if you analyze everything from Star Wars to Shrek, and you strip those stories to the most basic bare bones level, then they are basically the same story, the same hero's journey. But in the script of Saw, Martin Algus, who wrote it, it seems to me he combined the characters and events and themes in such a way that he created something that looks to me like a whole other type of story, a whole new basic storyline. So yeah, that's it's very interesting, and from the very beginning, Madjak seemed like a strong, interesting character to play, and coming straight from the theater school, who wouldn't accept the role?
And yes, Oscar Lutz is a really famous and beloved author in Estonia. I think because it was the second film of Oscar Lutz and second lead as well with Oscar Lutz. The first one I had like a more of this fear to the author, but right now it was, I think, a bit smaller, but still I had this that I can't let down Oscar Lutz, and maybe this drove me to work as best as I could.
So at the time I was in 12th grade and my friend from theater class sent the casting link. So I sent a little introduction about myself and I was invited to the casting, which was 4 hours long. And in the end, when there were only 4 girls left, they told us that there were 700 candidates.
Okay, challenges. I think there's two ways I could answer that question. First, speaking artistically, although I look like a monster, things like violence and anger and cruelty don't come naturally to me at all. I'm quite a softie in real life. But I had to play the main antagonist, and so making those feelings seem believable on screen, I'd say was a challenge. And speaking more practically, the biggest challenge was no doubt the last day of shooting. It was at night, and that's already bad because I hate being up past my bedtime. And it was in heavy ice cold rain, water coming straight from the fire truck, and hours and hours and hours. And that took me to my limits, both mentally and physically. And the next day was no fun as well, because I got home at 4 in the morning, and the train left at 7, and I had to rehearse all day in the theater.
Well, first, there were physical challenges, such as being with a little white dress in the middle of autumn, and also I had to be bare feet, so that was a challenge because it's really cold in Estonia. The character itself is deep and with a lot of layers, so it was interesting to figure out what the character was thinking.
There's an old abandoned prison near Tallinn called Murru, and next to that prison is an old abandoned quarry called Rummu, so Murru Rummu, and the quarry is now flooded. It's quite deep and the water is super clear, so that's where we filmed underwater scenes. And a fun fact, there were all sorts of buildings, and there were trees in the bottom of that quarry, and they are all now flooded too, so it's a very popular place for divers, because you can walk in like an underwater forest or underwater city. But I think you can add that that shooting they do the challenges as well, because I think you've seen actors in Hollywood movies being underwater with a straight face like this, and I cannot do that. I cannot open my eyes underwater. I cannot leave my nose unplugged. So I was underwater with a face like this, and I felt really unprofessional. I could, you could shoot no close-up shots of me. So yeah, you can add that to the challenges as well.
It was a script-based story, and we didn't leave pretty much anything out. So yeah, all the scenes we had in the script, they're on the screen. As funny as it may sound, but we didn't lose any equipment during filming the movie Bog. Except from the lighting department, one guy lost his shoe when he was like chest deep into the bog. But yeah, I guess the bog worked with us pretty good, I guess.
I have here one interesting thing as well. When we were shooting with Majak, who is the main villain, we were filming one scene where he shot us. We were in a lake with a small wooden boat, and the gun had the silent, or not silent, just the blanks. And for safety, there was put on some cotton thing to the barrel that we couldn't have anything hit us. So when we did the first shot, and the Majak came and shoot us in the lake, I felt that something hit me here. It was, I think that cannot be real, because it was like a soft touch, like a small punch, and actually I found in my pocket, because it fell from here to my pocket, the soft thing that was put in for the gun, and it was almost impossible for Majak to hit us with this I don't know, barrel, because he was aiming like, I don't know, 5 to 10 meters away from us. There was wind and we were 30-40 meters away, but eventually it hit me and I still got it. So it's a nice memory piece.
I haven't heard any rumors about making a sequel, but you know, it was based on a novel written by Oscar Lutz. But if something happens, I'm ready to hop on the boat and go with the flow, I guess.